Hello, pilots. So I know what you're wondering. Is Titanfall 3 coming? Is it just going to be an announcement or an actual release? And most importantly, is that going to happen this week on the 27th or 28th? Especially with Titanfall 2 coming to its 7th anniversary this Saturday. I'm gonna go through some of the evidence I found and give you guys my thoughts at the end. So stick around for all the info and my personal opinion on this. This last month, the Titanfall community has gone absolutely crazy, with theories being made, videos popping up left and right about the topic, and pills not being taken. Lots and lots of pills not being taken.
To remedy it. This is calm. 20 minutes ago, I was even more calm and had my fingers in your arsehole. You don't want to wait around for another half hour, son, because I'll be fucking you up.
Some of this can be chalked up to coincidence with the evidence that they're finding, and some of it I think is actually valid. It's unbelievable the amount of fans that have come back to the game and started playing it again. So with all that said, let's dive into some of the evidence that they've been finding in the Titanfall community. First up, people have started noticing that the head of Respawn has been more active lately. The voice actor for Viper has also been more engaged in the community lately, especially on social media. But I actually noticed that in particular on Reddit, he seemed to have popped up and started talking to the community on there. He even admits he's only been part of the Titanfall subreddit for about the last month. That doesn't mean anything, but it is a little bit interesting that suddenly out of nowhere, you start popping up and start kind of engaging with the community on the 7th anniversary of the game that you were in. So I'm gonna put this in the very interesting pile.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Possibly coincidence, but not certainly valid that we're getting a new game. Next up are the new game modes and clues people have been finding in the game themselves. The first game mode simply said, your rockets will blot out the sun. This is a reference to the movie 300 and the 300th day of this year in 2023. Yeah, it's October 27th, the day before the 7th anniversary of Titanfall 2. So this one goes under a very interesting little tidbit that could be a little wink and nod to the community. Another reference people have been talking about is Marked for Death, which is the third movie by Steven Seagal. This to me is kind of nothing. I don't really see the connection there, and this mode's already been around before. The last one is a game mode called The Other Side, and people have connected to this to the Red Hot Chili Peppers song and said that it is the third song on the Californication album. It's actually the fourth song on the album, but then people were quick to note that it's the third single from that album, Californication. This to me is still a little bit of a stretch, but it's a little bit more valid than the Steven Seagal one, which we've already seen that game mode before. To me, some of the biggest evidence has actually been from the Advocate Network, which Respawn owns and updates. Messages have started popping up out of nowhere from the Advocate Network. For instance, at one point it said, I am the Advocate, welcome back pilots. This was right after the servers got fixed and everyone started coming back to the game. And then on October 19th, there was a new message on the Advocate Network that reads, receiving encrypted message, transmission to pilot failed. Shortly after that, there was a new message that popped up saying, retrying to send encrypted message. And then after that, it said, I am the Advocate, no corrections needed, which was an interesting message. But then people dug a little bit, and actually in the new game mode, they noticed that there was this encrypted message. The encrypted message, when decoded, said, from candy to copper. Now, at first, people thought maybe they were trying to say from candy to Cooper, but people then realized what this was actually hinting at. On a 6th anniversary of being married, it is very custom to give candy as the signature gift. And for the 7th anniversary, when being married, it is custom to give copper as the gift. And with the message by the Advocate saying, I am the Advocate, no corrections needed, this kind of solidified that everyone felt as though the message was quite clear. We are going to be celebrating the 7th anniversary. But with all of that, what does this all mean? And now I'm going to give you my thoughts on what this could represent. At first, I did see some people that are quite cynical, thinking that this is just a play to get people back into Titanfall 2 a little bit, to have them go over to Apex and get more into the Apex community. And although I understand their new legend, Conduit, Titan batteries. Now, I understand that theory, but I actually don't think that's what this is, because the message I just read to you about the candy to copper, that came actually after the announcement of this new legend. Also, I will say this, a lot of Titanfall 2 fans are Apex Legend fans. Yes, I get that, but many are also very, well, salty when it comes to Apex Legends, and you're just never gonna get them to switch over to that game, especially when you have now a server that is working very well with the game that they actually really like with Titanfall 2. So I don't think this is a play for Apex, but you know, it is EA, so I wouldn't put it past them. The next theory is the one that the community really hopes, and well, is the least medicated theory, I should say. And that is they are gonna drop Titanfall 3, either announce it on the 27th and drop it on the 28th, or just plain drop it on the 27th so people can play it on the 28th on the 7th anniversary. People are very excited about this idea, and I'll be honest with you, I would love for this to happen. In a way, it's not too far-fetched. There's been talk from past developers saying that they had about 10 months of already developing Titanfall 3, so there's something there from a baseline. Add in the fact that Apex Legends was dropped out of nowhere when it came out, and this could very well happen, especially right now. If they ride all this momentum going into it, it could be a big deal for the Titanfall community. That said, we are dealing with EA, so I don't think this is the most likely thing to have happen. So what do I think is going to happen, and what's my honest opinion? I think they have been using this time right now with the servers fixed as a goodwill gesture to the Titanfall community, because I do think they are going to announce Titanfall 3 on the 27th or on the 28th to the Titanfall community. Think about it. You just made a lot of people very angry for many years about this game, with servers getting DDoS and just seeming like you completely abandoned the project for years. The best way to get them back in your good graces is to fix those issues and right those wrongs, and now get them playing the game that they love. Showing just a little bit of effort in terms of game modes, having some fun with the community and communicating with them a little bit, even if it's just the voice actors doing it. There's a lot going on here that shows some goodwill from EA and Respawn. Mostly, we have to be realistic in the fact that Titanfall 2 did not perform the way EA and Respawn wanted. It didn't cash in the way they would have liked it to. So how do you make sure that your next game, your Titanfall 3 game, is going to do better? Well, the first thing you can do is look at how Titanfall 2 does with the current audience by fixing the servers. Talk about not having to spend money on marketing and just doing these simple little things, and already the Titanfall community is abuzz. You already have them in the palm of your hand, and that way, if you do make an announcement, you already have some raw data to say, this is what we can kind of expect maybe on launch. So I could see this very much just being a trailer on the 7th anniversary. They then maybe drop a DLC or something simple for the next year in 2024 to keep the momentum going, and the game comes out in early 2025. They really don't need to do that much to Titanfall 2 to make a Titanfall 3. If they just had a new campaign, the old one wasn't that long to begin with, even something similar to that, maybe bring in a new Titan or two, a map or two, and guess what? Titanfall 3 fans would be very happy with that. To me, that seems like the most logical thing, because now EA has some raw data. They already have good PR with the fans and everything like that. They don't have to do almost any marketing, but they would still have time to do some major marketing along the way if they wanted to, and drop some more trailers. So that's my thoughts, and that's what I think is going to happen. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Are you excited for Titanfall 3? Do you think Titanfall 3 is going to happen? Have you been taking your pills at all? And hopefully we can have some good news pilots on the 27th or 28th this week. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did, and subscribe for more Titanfall news, and I'll see you pilots later.
Murphy doesn't want to take his medication orally. I'm sure we can arrange that he can have it some other way. But I don't think you'd like it, Mr. McMurphy.
You'd like it, wouldn't you?
Well, give it to me.